I am going to be making shrimp empanadas. So we're gonna see kind of an interesting way to work with shrimp. We're gonna be making the dough and the filling, and I'm gonna show you how to pull it all together. It's really, really easy, and they're baked, not fried, so they're a little bit healthier as well. I'm gonna get started on this dough. It's very easy to make the dough at home. This is just 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I have a teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, teaspoon and a half of salt. I'm gonna whisk that together, get it all combined. I have a stick and a half of whole butter that I'm cutting into cubes. And the reason why you want it to be cold is you don't want it to melt while you're working this into the flour with your hands. All right, here's my egg. Just wanna whisk that up and then work it into my dough. And a little bit of cold water. Again, you do want it to be cold, and you can always add more water. You can't take it away. So start out with just a little bit and then go from there. I also have a little bit of extra flour off to the side because we're about to turn this out onto the countertop and give it a knead. This is starting to get really smooth. It's not sticky and it feels substantial, you know? It's all holding together really nicely. I'm going to just form this into a disc. I'm gonna wrap it in some plastic wrap so that it doesn't dry out while it's resting. Okay, I'm gonna start my empanada filling with a little bit of just chopped red onion. Now I have a jalapeno. I'm just gonna quarter some cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna smash some garlic cloves here, chop them up. Chopping up 2 cups of fresh, deveined shrimp. All right, I am getting started on our empanada filling. I just have a little bit of oil. I'm just gonna saute my onions until they get to be translucent. And don't feel like you have to furiously write down all of the measurements because you can find all the recipes at feastmagazine.com. They're in the Feast TV section on the website. All right, that's looking good. I'm gonna add in my garlic and my jalapeno pepper. Then I'm gonna go ahead and season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Here go my juicy tomatoes. So I'm gonna add in about 1/2 to 1/4 cup of pinto beans. I'm smashing these beans just a little bit because I want to kind of mimic the creamy texture of refried beans for that filling. Yum. Now I add in my shrimp. And obviously the shrimp are gonna cook very quickly, so you wanna put them in at the very end. These will only cook in just a couple of minutes. The very last thing I want to do is add in just a little hit of acid. All right, we're wrapping everything up. I have my filling. It's cooled down a bit. I have my dough right here, my little disc. It's been resting. I'm forming this into a log. I'm going to be cutting this into discs essentially, and then rolling that out to form my empanada crust. Mound some filling here. You do not want to overfill this because it will explode in the oven. I'm gonna make a little bit of an egg wash, and this is what is going to help seal all of the edges. It's just 1 egg and a little bit of water. Just go like all right around the edges. So we're gonna fold this over, as you can see, into a half moon. Kind of stick everything down, and then just crimp the edges. And I'm gonna poke holes in the top, put some egg wash in, shove it in the oven, and that's it. So here are my empanadas piping hot out of the oven. I'm gonna let them rest while I make a crema. This is a little bit of yogurt. You could also use sour cream or creme fraiche. I'm just going to add in a bit of salt and some lime juice. Now there is no real substitute for true crema. It's delicious stuff. But if you can't get your hands on it, this is what you can do in a pinch. All of the flavors from that sauteed shrimp have melded together really, really beautifully. And the tart creaminess of this crema just pulls all of those flavors out. And this dough, you saw how easy it was. It is perfectly crisp. Yum, this is delicious. Thank you for joining me on our Funky Farms episode in this best of season. I will see you next time.